Manchester City. And so that brings us full circle really, because on Prime's first Boxing Day of Premier League football in 2019, Liverpool beat Leicester handsomely in the evening game, and the Reds will hope that that's an omen, because that season they went on to win the Premier League title. The thoughts of Emile, Heskey, Roberto Martinez and Arne Riise to come, pitchside with Gabby, Logan.
Well, this one here was one of plenty of games affecting the top and bottom today in the Premier League on Prime. At Molineux, it ended up Wolves 2, Manchester United 0. Kuna and Hwang with the goals there. Manchester United were down to 10 men after Fernandes was sent off in the 47th minute. Fulham and Chelsea were set to share the spoils. Rodrigo Muniz spoiled that and popped up 5 minutes into extra time to give the Cottagers a big win away at the Bridge. Meanwhile, at the Etihad, Manchester City and Everton ended 1-1. Erling Haaland had a penalty saved by Jordan Pickford, which would have given them the lead at the time. Goalless it ended at the Vitality Stadium with Palace the visitors, and free-scoring Newcastle continue their rich run of form. Isak on the score sheet again to give them 3 points at home to Villa with a 3-0 win. Forest were big winners today at home as well. 1-0 against Spurs, but big in terms of what it does for them in the table. Alanga, the scorer there for them, and new man in charge Juric couldn't get Southampton a win in his debut. Jared Bowen popped up for the Hammers to give them 3 away points. So let's have a little look at the table then, because tonight, as things stand, Liverpool extend their lead at the top because Chelsea, of course, drop points today to 7 points. Forest up to third. Arsenal have a chance to go up to second tomorrow if they beat Ipswich, and Newcastle United up to fifth this evening. And big win for Fulham with them, pushing them up to 8th in the table. Incidentally, now Liverpool are 14 points ahead of Manchester City, having been a point behind them at the beginning of November. At the bottom of the table, and you can see there, Leicester are down in the bottom 3, having dropped there when Wolves won earlier today and failed to get any points this evening to get themselves out of it. Southampton rock bottom on 6 points, Ipswich Town on 12, facing Arsenal tomorrow. That'll be a hefty task for them if they're going to point themselves out of the bottom 3. Here, though, at Anfield, it was a meeting of two Dutch minds, and it was Arne Slot who came out on top. Mo Salah with the third and final goal for them, completing a riot really for Liverpool in the second half. 3-1 the final score, and Mo Salah is with Gabriel Clark.
Mo, well done. 3-1. Was that about right in the end?
Yeah, it's a good result. To be fair, they were very tough first half, and the second half, the way they prepared themselves, I think prepared themselves before the game, they were very good, and also the way they standing in front of the box was quite hard for us in the first half especially, but we managed to score 3 goals. It's a great result.
How key was Cody Gakpo right on half-time, that goal?
It's great. It gives us confidence in the second half to go there and try our best also to win the game, because 1-0 down, you just need to focus and equalize. Then after that, you need to score the second one. But a minute before the half-time, he scored a great goal. So, yeah, it's a great result.
It's almost like the Gakpo goal, isn't it now, the way he cuts in onto that right foot?
Yeah, it's something he practiced a lot in training. We practice all in that situation. When we go there, we finish situation or cross it in the second post. So, yeah, it's a great finish from him.
Every game there seems to be a Premier League record for you. It's 100 home goals in the Premier League now, 98 for Liverpool.
Yeah, well, it's something I'm very proud of. I will keep working hard, and hopefully I can go a little bit further.
And how good is your form? When you sum it up, how well are you playing right now? Top scorer in the Premier League, 16 goals.
It's a great. To be fair, that as much as a team winning, and the most important thing for me is the team winning. Hopefully we win the Premier League, and I will have a big impact in that. That's great for me.
Well, 7 points clear in the Premier League with the game in hand. How does that sound?
It's great, but we need just to focus in each game, and yeah, hopefully we carry on like that.
You've been ahead before at this time of year, of course, and not gone on to win it. So does it feel different? Do you sense that?
Yeah, it feels different, but the most important thing is we need to stay humble. That year, I think we had a few injured when we were ahead, and we lose it in the end, but hopefully we carry on like that and no injured, then we just go and win it.
Are you as personally motivated as you've ever been to win another title?
Of course, this one is very special. Hopefully we win the Premier League for this club is something I'm very, very proud, dream of, so I really want to win the Premier League this year, hopefully.
And by the time you play your next home game here, it'll be January, Manchester United. Any update? Any update for the fans? Happy New Year and everything.
No, I wish I want to tell them Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, but then I see them next game here.
Thank you, Mo. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well, Mo Salah was waxing lyrical about Cody Gakpo's goal. So I've never done this before. That's hence a little bit of word shyness there. You can do this, John Arne. Yeah, presenting player of the match to Cody.
Congratulations.
Player of the match, but also scorer of a sublime goal. You're the only player to have scored outside the box for Liverpool this season. You've done it twice now.
Really?
Yeah, it was a great goal. He said there, though, Mo, you practice it. That's what you do.
Yeah, we do practice a lot on the crosses, on the shots, and they always say practice makes perfect, so we keep practicing.
Do you want to have a little look?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is also.
Talk us through it.
Yeah, I think. Obviously we came behind and we had to fight to get leveled. And we got some good opportunities, some good chances, and then I got the ball from Maka. And I went inside and I saw some free space, and I just did what we do in training.
You've gone behind a few times lately, 3 times I think in your last 5 Premier League games.
Yeah.
There's never a panic though. This team always feels like you can move up the gears. Is there a sense there on the pitch that you know one of you will pop up with something and steady the ship?
Yeah, obviously we know the qualities we have, but it's not nice to come behind sometimes, and we are working on that we are not that sloppy in the beginning. Maybe start more focused, because I think we started the game in possession very good, but then we had maybe 1 or 2 moments that we were a little bit sloppy or not focused, and then they made a good goal. So we have to keep improving in that point.
I said to your manager at the beginning of the evening that of course Ruud van Nistelrooy knows you very, very well indeed, and he said but he hoped you were going to score against him tonight. You did just that. Have you had a chat with Ruud yet?
Yeah, I saw him briefly after the game. We spoke a little bit about family and everything, so didn't see him for a while now, but always good memories.
Yeah.
I feel like as a fullback, are you surprised that you can always go inside and cross and shoot? Because being a fullback, or former fullback myself, I would have taken you down the line, because I know you're right-footed and you like to go inside, but it's a few times first time especially they could go in, either give it to Robbo and he could cross, or you could cross. Were you surprised by that easy?
I was a little surprised, I think, in the first or second action that there was a lot of free space in the middle. But when I sensed the space, then I just tried to take the opportunity to give a cross, maybe second post to Mo or to Darwin. Or I can play to Robbo as well.
Congratulations! I saw you a lot for PSV, and you were always the main man, the man that they could show a little bit of magic and win a game. Today is the first time I've seen you doing that for Liverpool. Is it a sense that you feel at home now, that you feel ready to take that big role?
Obviously I feel at home. I think we have a very good team, which makes me accelerate as well, and that I can show my qualities, what I'm good at. So I keep working hard and trying to show more of that every game.
Ahead of the match, Roberto was talking about just the subtle nuances, the difference between Jurgen Klopp's side and where this side is going. And you talked about it being slightly more organised, yet still as thrilling. Does it feel like that when you're playing in this system, and how Arne is setting you up? Yeah,
especially when we have the ball. I think it's a little bit more structured. Maybe a little less direct, and play more from possession. So I think that's a little bit the difference.
You're 6 points clear now.
7
points clear now. So in a really commanding position now. How's it looking for you? What are you thinking?
We only think about the next game. But
I knew you was going to say that.
Yeah, but we cannot deny we are in a good place, but still I think one of the strengths of our team and also of the staff is that we approach each game as a new one if we didn't play anyone before. So that keeps us humble and working very hard.
But very confident as well.
Yes.
You, of course, have a very busy period coming up because you're still going strong. Top of the Champions League, you've got the semi-final of the Carabao. In a couple of weeks' time, it'll be the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Can you keep going on all these fronts?
Yeah, that's why we train. So hopefully, yes. And we will give everything in each game again, and hopefully we can go far in each competition.
How do you do that, though? How do you sustain the level of intensity that you need on the pitch to put these performances in?
Difficult to say. I think it's it's a lot of things. It's sleep, it's recovery, it's training sessions, rest.
Not being in the studio for too long after a game, so do you want to go? Is that what
I especially won't be here that long, but no. Yeah, it's all things together, and I think even though we have a lot of young players, the staff and the older players are helping us to stay very professional and to recover very good.
Well, it's obviously at the moment working wonders on the pitch. So congratulations on your Player of the Match award. Thank you so much for joining us. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas
as well. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Cody. Thank you very much. Thank you. A great performance from Cody Gakpo there, who over the 2 years he's been here now, he's certainly, you know, you alluded to it there, his role has evolved and he's got stronger, more confident as a player in the Premier League.
It's interesting because when you're trying to sign a player, you know the qualities that he's going to have, but it's almost the human side. It's the feeling of being able to settle, being able to feel at home. I think the fans today enjoyed a player that he feels important, that he knows he can change the game with a little bit of a bit of magic. And it was the first time I've seen him looking like the player that we saw at PSV.
And this is a big stage. This is a huge club. There's with these huge clubs come huge expectations, but he seems to now be taking that in his stride and really doing well.
Let's have a look, shall we, John Arne, at his goal, because it was a thing of beauty. I could watch this again a few times, couldn't you?
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's so quick. This is a little bit typical Liverpool, how quick they get into position to score a goal. And
4 passes, 14 seconds.
Yeah, and they find the space in between the lines. And, you know, I see Gakpo, you see the run as well into the box. Robo is coming around as well, which gives him space to load it in. And you can almost sense that, my coach said before me, aim for the second post, like a cross or a shot, it might go in. And I think this is a shot, obviously, and it's perfect executed, but it's just a space he creates for himself and the confidence he shows. He goes and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, technique.
I think it is a competition between him and Mo Salah, who can actually bend it into that top pins every time. So I think they've got a little competition they have in training, and they're taking it into the games.
I think if there is one aspect that Ruud van Nistelrooy would have said to his fullback, you just don't give him time to come inside to his right foot. And you can see how did that space appear. And when you see McAllister run, he makes the space. He just leaves wings with 2 options. He needs to be becoming a little bit the man to try to stop Gakpo finishing or following the run. And that's what Liverpool did very, very well in that second half. And
there was patience as well, wasn't there? Because after that start, and they're in the lead, Leicester, actually after 10 minutes, there was very little attacking threat from them at all.
I don't think they had a shot after that,
no.
Which is disappointing again. But we spoke about it before the game, is defensively, how can they be very solid to stop Liverpool from penetrating them?
Well, you can see there that Arne Slot is just walking towards the studio, being given his microphone. So we'll let him join in and have a little chat with the victorious Liverpool manager. Say that a lot, don't we, this season? The victorious Liverpool manager. I was just introducing you as that. Things just keep on getting better. But you were made to think a little bit, weren't you, after that opening goal from Leicester? That kind of went against a very quick start from you.
Yeah, sounds weird, but I think we had a really good start because we were threatening them for 6 minutes. But then one moment where we underestimated the situation immediately led to a chance and a goal. And then, you have to work really hard to come back in the game. And I think in the end we were, I wouldn't say lucky, but it really helped.
The
to
timing,
score the equaliser just before half-time.
Yeah, we just had Cody Gakpo in the studio talking about actually the fact you have conceded, I think, first 3 in the last 5 Premier League games, and he said his words were a little bit sloppy, perhaps just not kind of turning off a little bit at times.
Yeah, but
is he being hard on you and himself?
It works both ways. So the first games we already also conceded 1 or 2 chances, but those ones didn't went in, and the last few games, almost every chance we concede goes in. This is in a season, it's quite normal. For me, it's the most important thing is how many chances do we give away during the game. And I think there was a second one over here in the second half, but that were the only 2 times they came even close to creating a chance or having a chance. And in my opinion, we've created enough. But yeah, because we went 1-0 down, it was for a long time, it was a game before we made the 3-1. And I think then you saw maybe how good we are, because they didn't try to come back in the game. They just wanted to manage.
Was that Gakpo goal almost perfect in the fact that it took from Alisson to the goal 14 seconds and went through 4 passes? Is that the kind of thing that just makes you purr?
I said to the fourth official, because I said to him before in the first half a few times, listen, it's not only for the time you add on, but every time we have momentum, and if they are on the floor pretending to are injured, that brings momentum out of the game. And in this situation, it was on the other end where they couldn't lie on the floor, and we could just take it quickly, and that helped us by scoring a goal. I liked the second goal even more because that was for me a real team goal with the overlapping run. But this is partly also what we want. We want to bring our wingers as often as we can in threatening situations. It happened more than a few times.
What's the plan to overload on the side and give back to the fullback and then cross a lot? Because in the especially first half, you gave the ball to Salah, Gakpo, back to fullback, and then cross and cross and cross. Was that the plan?
Yeah, plan. It's our playing style. So if they have a 1v1, take it on. If they bring two players towards the ball, it's about the fullbacks that are involved. They have to be involved then. And actually, I said during half-time that we don't always have to cross it in then. Maybe we play it to the other side because Trent was, if he would adjust his position a bit, he could have been free to have a shot because their left winger mostly became the fifth defender.
Because in the second half you had more runs from midfield in between the fullback and the centre back, and then not that many crosses, but then you feed it off the midfield players, which I think was more effective in that way because.
Yeah, no, deep runs are probably the most important thing in football. So you don't even always have to play the player that makes the deep runs, but then you can create maybe a bigger 1v1 situation for your winger. So yeah, the more deep runs you make, the more chance you have to win a game.
Arne, congratulations. Is it that feeling that now the title is for you to lose rather than to win?
Oh, interesting question. I don't look at it that way. It's a bit boring answer, but as a manager, like you know, you go game by game, and you know how many games you still have to play, and you can see, especially in the Premier League, that you see sometimes results where you're like, I didn't expect that, but you can expect this because so many teams have so much quality. So it's not. Well, like I said, if this would have happened in the Eredivisie, I probably would have felt like, okay, this is true, what you are saying now in this competition.
Well, extraordinary things are happening. The Manchester City are 14 points off you now. At the beginning of November, you were a point behind them. So, you know, things can move quickly in this division, as you're seeing. And players are a week from now, potentially 3 of your key players able to talk to other clubs. So I've got to ask you the question about those 3 players, Trent, Virgil and Mo Salah, of course, who scored again tonight. Where are you at with those conversations?
I can answer for him. I know what he's going to say. Every press conference he says.
I say the same, yeah. No, I think that's what John is saying, John Arne is saying. We don't talk about contracts in public. This is something for the players and Richard, and it's not up to me to talk about those situations in public. But it's clear that Mo again had a good game. Virgil had a very good game. Trent had, for most parts, he was really good, for 1 or 2 exceptions, but he was, especially second half, really good. So, yeah. That we can talk about, not about the contract situation.
Okay, I had to ask, but thanks anyway for predicting the future there. And just very briefly before we let you go, you said you were going to have some Dutch traditions with Ruud in your office afterwards, some kind of celebration?
No, there's an English tradition, like Roberto knows, to invite the other
but there's no Dutch drinks or anything like that?
There is beer, which is a Dutch drink, but probably not only a Dutch drink. But I don't think he wants one after this result, but it's nice. It's not only him, it's also his wife and his children are in the room. So we know each other a bit. So it's nice to have him in, especially after.
I think that they're important traditions, aren't they, to try and upkeep if you can.
Yeah. If we don't have to go to the media that long, we can have some time together as well.
I take a hint. Thank you very much. Welcome. Good to see you again. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Arne, coming in to speak to us after Champions League games and Premier League games at the moment. I mean, he's obviously a very joyful, happy man at the moment. Things could not be going better. And we were just chatting on the way down here from the studio position. We were watching the game in about the fact, I think it was Roberto, you and I were talking about players who've been key players injured for the challengers, the other teams around. Liverpool haven't really had to manage that so far, have they? Big players being injured for long periods of time so far this season.
No. But when you look at the players that they came on, the players that they finished for Liverpool, they are exactly at the same level than the players that they start. I think this is a very strong squad. And when you hear the players speak, there is a very, very healthy competition. There's a very strong spirit. we're talking about maybe losing 3 players because they are out of contract. I think that's been a very good approach, just to create. There is nobody's got given anything for granted. You need to earn it, and I think that spirit, even you can cope with a few injuries. I don't think that will be an issue.
I think that's, like you said, the backers, they have so good players on the bench, but I think there's only one player I will say, if he's get injured, it's going to make Liverpool problem, is Van Dijk. I think he's so important to the team that if he gets injured for a long time, I think Liverpool could struggle more than they do now. If they lose someone else...
He makes a 15% difference to win rate, and that was in the Gabriel piece.
Yeah, he's so important, not just as a player, but lifting the other players around him and the confidence he gives away and to the teammates. So I think he's the only player I feel that if he gets injured for...
He's the Odegaard or the Rodri for this team, is he?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, obviously different positions, but in terms of the importance, yeah.
You always have players that probably you haven't got a replacement for it. It's not that how important they are, is that the replacement is not the same style, if you want. But when you're watching this Liverpool side, they defend with 11 players. They defend very quickly. They defend high up. Yeah. They give themselves a lot advantages in anything that they do. I think in general, I don't think there's another team in Europe now playing with the same confidence. Today, you go 1-0 down. They never lost the confidence. They never lost the belief. That almost overtakes any individual performances of any player that could be missing.
He said, Arne Slot, that his favourite goal was the second, the Curtis Jones goal, because it was the team. It was a team goal, more of a team goal than the other goals.
I can understand it. You look at, let's talk, I think John mentioned it as well, look at McAllister's position. For me, the first half it was the fullbacks that they had the ball a lot of time. Second half was the 2 midfielders. Look at now is Curtis Jones arriving into the box, and I think what Arne would like is that patience, that overlap, that players getting around in front of the box. Look at the red shirts now, is almost always a patient play when the ball goes into McAllister. Is there, is look at the amount of shirts that they get into goal scoring positions. It's impossible for Leicester.
Eight players around the box there, red shirts, 8.
And the timing to arrive there and having the decision. You're talking about in the first half they had 50 final third entries, and this is an incredible approach, you know, with what you do on the ball. Allows you to get the best players in front of the goal. Is the amount of chances, the amount of corners that they created is almost that it was inevitable to see that result.
I would look at it the other way as well, though. I would be saying that defensively, you've got the numbers back there. You've probably got more numbers back there, but what are they actually doing? Are you following your runner? Because they're the things you've got to do. You've got to track your runner. You've got to do them hard yards and put your neck on the line. There's 2 on the line, but why are you not getting close to the players? These are the ones who are going to try and score. Curtis Jones just comes in, waltzes in, and has no one following him. I would look at it the other way.
Don't you feel that Leicester change a lot when they conceded the goal?
Yeah.
And I think it happens when you're a team that you are fighting to avoid relegation. The goals are psychologically big blows because they started so well, they could have had a second chance, and then all of a sudden the team needs players like Ndidi. I thought Ndidi was a big miss, and I was saying before the game, I think Ruud will find out a lot about this dressing room, and I think there'll be a lot of things that is going to help Leicester to improve the next few games.
I think Mavididi was exploiting the left wing quite a bit in the first half, so up to probably 10 minutes, and then just slowly stopped doing that, and that's when you just get camped in your half, don't you? And then you start feeling the pressure of them attack after attack after attack, and that's difficult on you.
We'll talk a little bit more Leicester in just a sec, but let's have a look and clear up clear off the whole Liverpool performance tonight with Mo Salah's goal, the third goal, and I guess a point from you and where the fullbacks were on this one.
No, we've seen this before from Salah doing it many times, but again, if you look at the defending here as a fullback, you should take Mo Salah down the line, because if he goes down the line, he's on his right foot, you have to cross it from the touchline, which is hard. But instead, you open up, and everybody knows Mo Salah. He's done it 100 times. You give him half a yard, he will try to bend it in the far corner. And this is not even. It shouldn't be a chance. There shouldn't be a chance. And why open? Look at this.
There's 2 players that in that position where you don't let them come back in. Riyad Mahrez and Mo Salah. Just don't let them go. You know what they want to do, just send them down the line.
It's a great finish, but you also have to look at the other, like Ruud will say, you have to get closer and take him down the line. Even if he passes you down the line, all they can do is chip on the back post.
16th goal of the season, and obviously his numbers are flying this season. He's not going to say in a post-match interview that yes, he's well on his way to securing a new deal. What's your kind of gut? What's your hunch as a former Liverpool player about where this is now for Mo Salah?
I'm quite confident that Van Dijk will sign. I think Mo Salah will sign. The one I'm unsure about is Trent, because he's won everything and he might, for his own career, test himself going somewhere else just for his own test. But I'm quite confident Mo Salah and Van Dijk will sign.
OK, let's get some reaction then from Leicester now in the shape of Ruud van Nistelrooy. Here's the manager with Gabriel.
Ruud, 3-1 in the end. Was that about right or tough on your team?
You know, when you come here, of course, the start we had that we wanted. We knew we had to be compact, we had to be defending well, defending crosses well, which we did, and we had a couple of breaks. We were dangerous. We were in the game for a long time. We had in 2-1 we had the Daka chance with his left foot. Of course, these are moments that in the second half was, I think, the only one that we had. But it's in these games you got to take them to take something home. But no, I can't. Only credits for the team, you know, for the competitiveness, and we were in the game for a long time.
Is the frustration not quite getting to half-time ahead?
Of course, when you're 1-0 up, and we had a break with Steffi Mavrididi on the break, which led to a goal kick, a quick take of Alisson, and they combined into Gakpo, and we know when he's coming into his right foot he can be dangerous.
Well, you know Cody Gakpo so well, of course, from PSV. Do you see a significantly better player here at Liverpool already?
No, of course. I mean, he's here now for a while already. He developed, got used to the level, got used to the Premier League and Champions League. And he's still improving a lot, so yeah, made big steps.
Is one positive your goalkeeper, Jakub Stolarik, tonight, Premier League debut?
Yeah, no, well done for Jakub coming in like this. He came back from a long injury. He's recently played in the under-21s, and well, he had a great game, so well done to him.
What do you look at then, having 5 games in, 3 defeats in a row now, you're into the bottom 3, but what do you look at in terms of how you view Leicester's chances of staying up?
Yeah, it's up to us to keep developing, to keep doing what we're doing, and creating game plans for every opponent where we think how we can win. And the game plan today was there. Players knew what to do, acted to it, and today was the maximum possible. Of course, Anfield is not the place where we usually have to collect the points. Those are other games as well, but for our development and to keep improving, we have to do it because the points need to be collected.
To keep improving, to collect those points, will there need to be investment in January?
Of course, it's a great possibility to look at what is necessary. It's a tool to look as a club. Okay, where can we get better? What do we need to improve and make the next step in this season to be able to stay in? So it's a good option.
And have you played the Premier League champions tonight? Do you think?
Well, you never know in the Premier League. There's many things happened before, but of course. Looking at this team and how stable they are and the depth of their squad as well, yeah, they have a great chance.
Thank you, Ruud.
You're welcome.
Well, things started well, didn't they, Jordan Ayew, inside 6 minutes?
Yeah, it did. You come to Anfield, you know you're in for a tough day, and then to go 1-0 up, it's fantastic. You look at Steffi here, Mavrididi taking the ball down the line, crossing it in, and Jordan Ayew's done very well. I was very surprised he whipped it into the near post. I thought he might have taken it into the far, but it was a great finish in the end. And this was a fantastic start because you never know. Backs against the wall, could have been 1-0 down, but you take the lead. Was it a good thing or was it a bad thing?
You'd always take a goal, wouldn't you, Emile? You'd always rather.
You as a mentality, you kind of sit back, don't you? And invite the team on. Was hoping you could get to half time, but never happened.
It's a great finish, and you don't have to underestimate to score from open play at Anfield is because you're well set up, you got good mentality. The shame, or when you're going to review that game, you're going to say, why did we not keep the ball? Why did we not get a little bit away from our box to defend? How could we defend with the ball against a side like that? Because the game was getting in a nervous stage for Liverpool. Obviously, the goal before half time, I think, changes everything. But I think Ruud van Nistelrooy will take a lot of things out of the game today. But I think it's fair to say Liverpool are in a different level.
And he mentioned the Daka chance, which would have at that point made it 2-2. And obviously he was in for Vardy, who's picked up a few niggles. And it was just his feet kind of getting almost caught up with themselves.
Yeah, and they didn't take many of these chances because they had a few chances to do this. And this is quite a big chance because Van Dijk was a little bit sloppy or whatever you want to do because he should have been close to him. But this is actually quite a big chance. And if it were 2-2 there, then it would have completely.
But if you're looking at it, there are 3 chances that they come exactly the same. So you can see that there's been work. So when you see how they prepared the game, you can see that 3 times you're going to hurt Liverpool away from home really well. You should have scored 2. Maybe we had another opportunity. It's just in between. Why can you not keep the ball a little bit more? Why can you not just take the sting out of the game and make sure that you said you control with a little bit of a longer possession and then just not switching off. Switch off in a goal kick that it costs you the goal. Those are the small details that when you are fighting to avoid relegation, anything that you do wrong, you get punished. And slowly it will get the strongest.
I think that that's something that Ruud's obviously working on. He's trying to keep the ball better and obviously conceding a goal. It's weird. As a manager, they always tell you, as a player, they tell you there's points in the game that you've got to be very, very focused. First 10 minutes at the start of the game, just before half time, just after half time, and that's when everyone scored. So Leicester scored, and then Liverpool scored just before half time and just after half time. They're the times where you've really got to focus mentally.
Yeah, and obviously that cost them that focus, didn't it, at times tonight? But Liverpool's class was evident pretty much throughout. And let's have a look then at what they've got up against them, Leicester, in their next 6 fixtures. Well, the small matter of Manchester City, which actually, at the moment, who knows? Because it's 1 win in 13 for City at the moment. And then it's Villa away, which is always something of a grudge match, isn't it? And then FA Cup, and then it's Crystal Palace back in the league, and then it's Fulham, who are flying high at the moment, and Tottenham Hotspur away. So that's not an easy crop of games, is it?
No, but that's why we love the Premier League, because you never know. And I mean,
easy games.
When you look at the fixtures, okay, they're going to lose this one, but you can't say that about Premier League because you never know. And you expect City to just bounce back. Many games ago they haven't done it, so no, there's a chance for everybody to win, and that's why we love the Premier League.
And of course, January, the transfer window will open. Will that be a time, do you think, that Ruud should be putting a bit of pressure and saying, I need a little bit of help? You said earlier, Emile, that perhaps there just isn't quite the strength in terms of leadership amongst this squad of players that he needs when their backs are going to be against the wall?
It's not easy. I think the window in the winter is not an easy window, but obviously Ruud and Leicester will try to do what every club does. If you got a player that you can bring to improve the squad, you're not going to bring anyone just for the sake of it. I think when you're looking in the Premier League, you can get quite scared when you look at the opposition and you look in what player you can bring. Those are the aspects that you cannot control. I think Ruud and the players will work now to try to improve on what they did today. They did a really good start in the first 2 games, West Ham and Brighton, in terms of the results. Against Wolves, it was a little bit of a psychological blow, but the team played well, so it's almost building blocks. It's going to go down to the last game of the season. It looks now that the relegation probably could be with the lowest points tally of many years, so it's time to focus on what you can do, what you can achieve, and how much you can improve.
Looking at them next 5-6 games, would you as a manager look at them and say there's certain games that you've got to get a certain amount of points out of them games, or would you not put that pressure on them?
No, I think you're looking at yourself. You always look at the average. You need to get a point per game. At the level that Leicester has, you need to get a point per game. But it's very naive to think that you can control the fixtures where you're going to get the points. It doesn't happen like that. I think today a player like Ndidi is essential in this team. You need to look at a little bit the back four, the partnership of the 2 centre halves. Those are the areas that it seems that Leicester need to work on. But everything else, there are many aspects where you can see that Ruud is going to get a lot out of this side.